A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
No, I've been here about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
An empty plastic bottle would give you 50 cents. A soda can, 60 cents. A used food container, 80. Wondering why I know this? Because that's my job. I am a trash picker at my school.
Harry, the trash prince is on a roll today. And how is your trashy affair with Bella coming? She lets you kiss her with that stink?
Their words don't bother me. They don't know why I do what I do. And my secret. I edge close to my class when I hear Bella and her friend talking.
You can't be serious, Bella. You want me to break up with him for you?
I would do it myself if his poverty didn't give me the creeps.
You are unbelievable.
I come face to face with Bella's friend. She knew I heard the conversation and couldn't meet my eyes. She hands me the new phone I bought for Bella and walks away. I saved for months to buy her this phone. I walk down the empty corridor with a heavy heart, pick the phone out of the box, slip my SIM in, and switch it on. When... Harry Parker, you have passed the poverty test? You are now the heir to Parker family's billions worth of assets?
If Harry is a billionaire, why does he work as a trash picker? What is his big secret? Why did he not reveal his billionaire status to Bella? To know more, listen to the audio series Destiny Reloaded, only on Pocket FM.
Presentation. They say everything is bigger in Texas, so let's do it bigger and better than ever. It's the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series live here on Turn 200, round number 9 of the 2024 season, right here from TMS. We're back to it. The boys are back on their BS. It's Tommy Cook, Matt Williamson hanging out with you here. Matt's, we're doing our best to put last week behind us. A new challenge ahead of these drivers here tonight's 105 laps around the newly reconfigured. Is it still newly reconfigured? I don't really care. Texas Motor Speedway, regardless.
Yeah, this is, I would not consider it newly reconfigured any longer because they're likely going to blow it up again. However, yes, it should be a good one here. I mean, for those of you that are familiar, in real life, Texas is kind of a dreaded date, but here on the sim, it's actually a pretty good little racetrack, I think. So, yeah, I think we're in for a good one here. Certainly looking for, I don't know, less stoppage time than we had last week, I guess you could call it. But yeah, the drivers are going to get after it. It's going to be a good one. We're going to get back to our old ways here. I mean, we had one bad fluke of a race in an incredible stretch of awesome races. So they're going to get right back to it here tonight.
Well, the one driver that probably doesn't want to forget at least the result from last week is Greg Maul. He's out on the track right now. Of course, he picked up his third career post-revival victory with Max V. And that has vaulted him into the top 10 in the points for the first time in quite a while here. How do the rest of the points shake out?
Yeah, of course, we've had a lot of drivers kind of miss some races, so Greg Maul back in the top 10. Good to see him there. Andrew Schulte still hanging on to that points lead. has Rob Haynes 18 points behind, so a little bit of ground given up, but not a whole lot there to second. Charlie Widener sits there in third, not too far behind Rob Haynes. Heath Smith, Johnny Hamby, they round out the top 5 here. Mike Milfelt, Will Kirk, we mentioned Greg Mall jumping up to 8th. Justin Michael and Christopher Howell are going to be the top 10 in points here. So couple of new faces there into the top 10, but most things have pretty much stayed consistent.
We're going to go ahead and try and talk to a driver who just wrapped up their qualifying run, currently provisionally in the top 5. Got to figure out where our broadcast room is. Hot swap Matt Burkhardt into booth 200. We'll just call it Burkhardt 200 from now on. But pretty nice qualifying time he got there. Looked pretty good in practice as well. How are we feeling headed into Texas tonight?
Not feeling too bad. Pretty fast Chevrolet here. So hopefully we can get around Texas here.
All righty, partner. Anybody want to say hi to before we get going?
I just want to say hi to the wife and kids watching and to my Bandit Motorsports teammates.
All righty, partner. Best of luck to you. Hopefully we're talking to you again at the end of this one.
Thanks.
So there is Matt Burkhardt. He's been having some pretty good runs of late. Maybe not getting the finishes he wants to go along with them, but I think that's the story for a lot of drivers as this season has sort of bounced around and all over. And no more case in point than that than your provisional pole sitter right now, Justin Michael. I mean, talk about the season from hell from somebody that strives for perfection like Justin Michael does.
Yeah, most certainly. I mean, obviously always has the speed anywhere we go, but has had bad luck, come his way this season. Of course, it is a long season here, so certainly still has time to turn that ship around and get it pointed in the right direction. I mean, it's not like he's lacked in speed, so at least he can kind of put that feather in his cap that he's got to feel good about the way he's driving, just hasn't really been able to put them together. But, when you're driving well, it's going to come at some point.
It certainly is, and like you said, he's still top 10 of the points, still finishing decent, but, got bounced out of the win at Phoenix, got bounced out of the win at Atlanta, got literally bounced around at Bristol and at Martinsville last week. It's just not gone Justin Michael's way more often than not here this season. But regardless, he has an opportunity to change that. He had a lot of great runs, solid runs last season on the 1.5-mile tracks. And this is technically 1.5 miles, despite the fact that turns 1 and 2 are banked at 20 degrees, and turns 3 and 4 are banked at 24 degrees. That is a huge difference in banking from one end of a turn to another, and it provides an interesting challenge here, especially with how wide turns 1 and 2 are. You would think that would open it up for more places to pass. It does give you more options to escape a crash when somebody slides the lunch trays underneath your rear tires. So that's about all it's good for, though, unfortunately. But we're about to open it up high, wide, and handsome here at Texas Motor Speedway, and it is the aforementioned Justin Michael taking the pole position here at Texas. James Lehman, his teammate, winner from Richmond a few weeks ago. He is slotted in on the outside of the front row. Row number 2 is Heath Smith and Johnny Hamby, teammates there. Side by side in 3rd and 4th. Scott Patton is lining up in 5th position with the reigning series champ, 3 times the winner of the season, Andrew Schultz, starts 6th. Rob Haynes, a winner last time around the 1.5 miles at Las Vegas. He starts in 7th. Last week's winner, Greg Mall, will line up in the 8th position. On row number 5 on the inside, Christian Angel, the only one of the drivers who made their first start last week that is returning here today. He starts 9th next to Mike Milfelt, who will round out your top 10 drivers. Will Kirk got the podium last week. He starts in 11th next to Matt Burkhardt to his outside on row number 6. Charlie Widener then on row number, I almost said row number 13. He's in position number 13. 14th, Kerry Cleaver. Gary Maydew is back. He will line up in 15th. And Jacob Gibson back for the first time in a couple of weeks here as well. He will line up in 16th. Matt Montalban deep in the field here. He is in 17th. Jack Watts. Can I talk today? I don't think I can. Jack Watts is going to line up at 18th. Wally Turheimer back at P19. Kyle Manos in 20th. Chris Boyle's the last driver to post a time in 21st. Bill Paradise, Brad Slagle, and Michael R. Van through 24th. Zachary Gerber will be the final driver to take the green flag here tonight, starting in the 25th position. Sun has gone down here in No Limits, Texas. Matt, what are the track conditions and what are the strategy notes you've got for your drivers headed into tonight?
Track conditions, temperature-wise, are favorable. 78 degrees on the track temperature. However, that wind is howling here today. 18 into 19 miles an hour. So that will play a little bit of a factor here for the drivers. With that track temperature, you obviously mentioned the difference in banking. It's just going to allow the drivers to hold it straight to the floor through turns 3 and 4, maybe a little bit longer than normal. So that'll be interesting to watch. We got 105 laps here tonight, 4 extra sets of tires. Fuel capacity is at 70%, so we're looking at about 45 laps. No fast repairs. The stage break tonight is going to be at the completion of lap 32. It'll be a caution at that point. Everybody will be able to come in, get tires, figure out their strategy from there on out, and then get right back after it.
Don't forget Lehman's Money Mania, Mega Money Mania, Lehman's Mega Money Mania at stake here for a random driver of not my selection, but the position. I worded that so poorly. Yeah, I may just let you do play-by-play here tonight. I think that's what's about to happen. I'm just going to sit here like a bump on a log. But I am pretty excited about this race, regardless of my inability to convey it. It just seems like maybe the stars are aligning for a couple of the drivers here in the field that need a win and need a good night. But we have a long ways to go before we figure out if that's the case or not. 105 laps here at Texas. Track that did not see action with the Max V Truck Series last year. But tonight there are no limits. For the CNC Home Designs Truck Series drivers, it's Justin Michael and James Lehman on the front row, and they are punching it. Smith underneath Lehman for second already. Michael with the lead. Here comes Scott Patton. Heath Smith makes it fit just barely. 2 and 3 wide, getting it sorted out. What a swing there for Patton to make it up to second.
Yeah, Patton gets underneath the Smith. Whoa, contact between Lehman and Heath Smith and nearly bunched up that entire field, but able to get it settled. That is an unsettling moment, especially on cold tires.
Rob Haynes there with a 1X. He got his left sides into the grass, trying to avoid a 3-wide disaster inside the top 5. Greg Mall on the outside here, trying to sneak into the top 5. And Scott Patton right behind his teammate Justin Michael, the top 2, trying to set sail on the rest of the field early in the going.
Scott Patton has been very aggressive early on in just about every race he's been in this season, and it seems to be no different for the 46 here. His teammate in the 87 usually likes to, there's contact to the wall farther back.
And here we go for the lead. Patton underneath. Christian Angel just got Andrew Schultes shuffled out of line as Patton can't quite complete the pass here for the top spot. And that has brought everybody back into play just like that.
Patton should have the advantage here on the bottom, but Michael might be able to get a little bit of a run.
I think the other interesting thing that might come into play here that we've not seen yet from Texas here on turn 200 is the oval refresh, especially in turns 1 and 2, where it's a bit more one lane. May bring that other lane into a bit more prominence.
Yeah, we're seeing it work early on here. Michael able to really stay even with Patton throughout turns 1 and 2 and get a big run there off the corner.
There's been a lot of cajoling around Christian Angel just outside of the top 5. He's had 2 or 3 drivers had to slam on the brakes. I think Angel protecting his tires early here, and it's catching some of the drivers behind him a bit off guard. Regardless, Angel has marched his way up through the field. And Patton started 5th, made it to 2nd on the opening lap, and cannot quite complete the pass on his teammate to take the lead outright. But he's in the mix.
Well, our normal fuel run here is more than what the stage caution is going to be, so drivers feeling like they might be able to be pretty aggressive. Here comes a run from James Lehman underneath of Scott Patton.
The run propels Patton to the lead outright, and Lehman looking to take advantage underneath Patton. These are the 3 Bandit Motorsports teammates, all right here together once again, as Smith and Mall fade away from the top 3. They're side by side for 4th, and Lehman is clear as Patton loses out on a 2-for-1 special.
Yeah, Justin Michael used the run to help Lehman rather than Patton on the outside, and it was a good decision because Michael was able to gain a 1 spot there as well.
Schulte's been in this rotating carousel of lines here, switching from the inside to the outside to the inside. Now trying to take it 3 wide on Christian Angel, walked all the way down below the line there. And Schulte not done. He is letting him know he did not appreciate that.
Yeah, Schulte's not going to like that one. You saw him all over the back of the 6 there through turns 3 and 4.
Top 3 nose to tail. Bit of separation back to Greg Wall and Rob Haynes. That's the top 5. Christian Angel in front of this ravenous pack behind him. Smith and Kirk up top. Angel and Schulte on the bottom.
Lots of support for Will Kirk as always in the chat. Thank you to Michelle and Marilyn. Dee's cheering on Wally Turheimer. Shelly Mall, of course, cheering on Greg earlier tonight as well.
Wally keeping himself out of trouble here early. He's back in 17th, up 2 spots from where he started. Christian Angel dropping back from this pack. The top 5, that is. Everybody else trying to find their way around, and Will Kirk is loose. Can he save it? Milfeld up the track into Gibson, and that was a disaster averted. That was...
It's not quite over.
I don't know if Gibson knew what happened there. And Milfeld did just move up suddenly, but if he would have stayed where he was, that would have been a 5-truck pileup for sure.
Yeah, and that's going to spread out this group a little bit more. Might provide an opportunity for Schulte to make the pass.
And here we go for the lead. Justin Michael. All of a sudden, Lehman hit the wall, but the pass was in motion before that. Patton then will get up to 2nd as Michael reassumes the lead. Michael got a good run down the backstretch, took it into turn 3. Lehman trying to give his teammate room, slaps the wall at turn 4 and loses another spot to boot, and is going to drag Greg Wall and Rob Haynes right back into the thick of it.
Andrew Schulte underneath of Angel got the run out of turn number 2. We're going to see that all night where that run is set up off of turn 2 and then completing the pass through turns 3 and 4, maybe even on turn 4 exit.
Heath Smith will get through now as well on Christian Angel. It's Patton trying to size up another run here on Justin Michael, who's back up front. Here's Greg Mall underneath Lehman for 3rd. Lehman moving the wrong direction here after the contact with the wall. Lehman into the grass.
Yeah. Heath Smith up the racetrack here. Going to allow Angel to get back by.
Angel's fighting hard. Will Kirk trying to complete the pass here on Heath Smith. So Smith loses 2 spots on that lap, back to 9th now. Mike Milfeld right now rounds out the top 10. He's got Johnny Hamby and Charlie Widener right behind him. That's 4 teammates in a row there. For the team points leaders, Highline Racing, fighting to stay in the top 10 right now. Not off to a great start. And Patton is just, he's parked. They might as well be a tow rope between these top two.
Yeah, those two, I mean, Patton has basically been pushing Michael out front, really hasn't tried to make a move for a pass. He's still fighting with Will Kirk. Kirk is able to clear himself, but awfully close to some contact there.
None of the four winners from the ASRL Sports Car Championship last night are in the field tonight. But a couple of drivers are Johnny Hamby and James Lehman, who's running in 4th. Hamby right now in 11th. Those are the only crossover drivers from last night to tonight, at least for now. And thanks to AP Lewis for hanging out with us, as well as Dee Nicole, Michelle Kirk, Marilyn Beck, Goodleaf Archives, Shelley Mall, all hanging out.
James Lehman got pretty loose down there on entry into turn 1. Had to kind of corral it up the racetrack a little bit. That's something that you mentioned with the racetrack being really wide there in turns 1 and 2. Doesn't really provide as much of an opportunity to get to the top of the racetrack. The top of the racetrack really isn't fast, but if you do happen to make a mistake, gives you a little bit of breathing room, and Lehman had to use a little bit of it there.
Anders Schulte with a slide job on Rob Haynes. That is to move himself into the top 5. And we are guaranteed one caution tonight. Stage break will be at lap 32. I'd imagine most drivers will be on pit road at that point. Things going pretty well, especially in comparison to last week. Lots of shuffle in here just outside of the top 10. Charlie Widener and Johnny Hamby, teammates, battling hard for 11th. All 14 drivers there right in a row. The 1, the 155, the 95, and the 70. Now, I'm impressed that Scott Patton has been able to stay this close for this long, but I can't imagine that he's doing his tires any favors here, even with a shorter run.
Well, they had a pretty decent gap on Greg Mall for a while, but Mall has been able to reel them in, and you have to wonder if Patton may have been able to get around the 87 and put himself in a better position, but has obviously decided not to.
It's especially difficult in turns 1 and 2 to mirror the driver in front of you with all that space, and just feels weird.
Yeah, normally you would try and, run maybe a half a lane up the track, get yourself out of the dirty air a little bit, and maybe even be able to get yourself a better run off of turn 2 as well, kind of using the higher line, as Pat looked to be pretty loose there through turn 4. But Patton has been right on the back, stuck like glue to the back of the 87.
A Sugarland reference?
It certainly was. I'm glad you got it.
Wow. Charlie Widener continuing his march forward here.
Andrew Schulte run on James Lehman now. This is for 4th. Oh, you see Schulte lose the back end just a touch, but able to keep the power down.
They're both kind of losing the back end there. I don't think these drivers are doing it justice, how kind of slippery this track is. It just feels a little greasy. I've had a couple of big bobbles that have been pretty noticeable, but for the most part, everybody's done a nice job.
Lehman trying his hand at the ultra-high line there through turns 1 and 2, was able to still stay even with Schulte throughout the turn. Lehman going to go for it again, trying to get that big run off of turn 2.
It's a good run, but not enough to clear. These guys are a second and a half now behind the top 3, who themselves have spread out a bit.
And at a certain point in this run, or in any run, I should say, the middle of turns 3 and 4, to me, usually seems to be the place that you want to be. And Lehman has had that luxury and is able to fend off Andrew Schulte.
Good stuff here from Lehman, just as we say that. Boy, that looked like it was a trip to the wall, but he saves it. But that's going to bring everybody back in, including Christian Angel. Mentioned he was kind of backing it up here to open up this run, but he's on the charge here.
And with only 5 laps to go this next time around, things are starting to heat up.
Patton has cut it to about 2 truck lengths up to the race leader. Stage points on the line here, coming up to lap number 32, at the completion of lap 32, that is.
Angel underneath of Schultz.
That's going to be close to 3 wide here on the exit.
It's not close, it is.
It is.
Whoa!
Oh, boy. Angel, another close call there with Schulte. This time door-to-door contact.
Oh, and there is contact.
He hit the line.
He got loose with Lehman as well.
Lehman going to spin, and the caution is out. And, just a kiss of the inside wall there for James Lehman. That was an auto-triggered caution, and this will be the stage break. So Justin Michael wins the stage here at Texas Motor Speedway after the caution comes out 3 laps early. Racing hard, 3 wide for some top 5 stage points.
Yeah, that was disaster waiting to happen. It could have been a lot worse than what it was. Looked like maybe a little bit of netcode contact at some point there too. Was kind of hard to tell from the camera angle.
Did kind of look like netcode contact between Schulte and Lehman, just a touch anyway, but there was no doubt Christian Angel got on that white line, got a little bit loose, and tracked it up into the door of the 81. That'll happen when you're 3 wide here at Texas.
Certainly will. Here's a look at the replay. You see Angel in the 6 got on the white line, came up the racetrack. There's the contact with Schulte. Oh, I mean, that was... If that really was netcode, which it seems like it was between Schulte and Lehman, I don't think Lehman just lost it. It seemed like there was a jolt to the front of the truck there. That is a good 2.5, 3 feet of netcode contact. I mean, that is just horrible stuff there.
Yeah, we're usually not talking about netcode in the trucks all that much. We usually save it for our open wheel racing. But, yeah, it was definitely there. That wasn't great.
There's Lehman going for the slide, trying to save it. That's a pretty good little shot to the inside wall. Obviously could have been worse, but that was not insignificant contact by any means.
You try and make it as flush as possible just to try and get the damage centralized on the number, where it won't do as much aero damage. I definitely think he caught a bit of the left front there. You always worried about the toe in that case. Yeah, you're right. That did look a bit harder than I gave it credit for in real time. So the pit stops happened. It looks like Scott Patton won the race off pit road. So he will move Justin Michael back a spot. Andrew Schulte then will jump to 3rd. Greg Mall will slide back to 4th. Rob Haynes then will reassume a spot in the top 5. And we're going to come to green on what was the original planned end of the stage. So that moves your fuel number around a bit here to close out this race.
Yeah, I mean, it moves it around a bit, but I mean, it was always going to be 1 stop for fuel. after the stage break. So no matter how you sliced it, you were going to have to come in one time. It may change the number that you come in on, but I don't think it's necessarily going to change how many we have. I think the driver should be able to make it 45 laps on a tank of fuel, so should be able to make it. It will be a lot closer maybe than they were expecting, though. I mean, we have about 75 laps to go, so I mean, definitely going to be able to make it. I'm assuming that we are going to see some folks try and go for the undercut quite heavily here. But when does that occur? I'm not sure. We've seen some very aggressive strategies throughout this season from some of the drivers, so it's always hard to tell.
We've also seen some aggressive driving tonight, and everybody's all right here together, looking to get the getting while the getting's good. We may not be done with cautions, is what I'm trying to allude to here. It's Pat and Michael in a different order than at the drop of the caution. Back it away, and Michael does not get going.
Not at all. Not sure what happened there, but Schulte and Patton timed it up very nicely between each other.
It's like he lost a gear. Can't imagine he started in the wrong gear, but losing a gear is not possible in this sim. Side by side for the lead.
Charlie Widener a little bit farther back in the field. Had a big slide up in front of Michael Milfeld. That was a close call. Andrew Schulte able to clear Patton down here through turns 3 and 4.
Schulte to the point. Pat with the crossover. Haynes in third. He's under fire from Greg Mall. Patton is clear for a slider if he wants to take it. Justin Michael trying to work his way back into the top 5 after a disastrous restart. Here's Schulte again.
Yeah, Patton went for the slider, but Schulte able to cross it over. We might see the same thing here again. Patton trying to use that momentum off of turn 4.
Some blocking.
Whoa!
Those are teammates, by the way.
That team races each other hard. There's no doubt about it.
Well, when you're really good racers, you feel a little bit more comfortable racing that hard, I'm sure. Greg Mall's got a good look at it. Now he's got a good look on Andrew Schulte to try and take second. Schulte a bit in no man's land there on 3 and 4. Mall's not going to stop at Schulte. He's going for the point. Mall with a nose ahead here into 1.
This is just an all-out pace right now. We're not seeing many folks here in the top 12 to 15 really lay back on tires, unless everybody is, but it certainly does not look like it.
Worth pointing out on that caution, James Lehman spun onto pit road. He had a penalty to serve. He has done that. He is back onto the track a lap down.
Yeah, not only the penalty, but had a bit of an extended stay down pit road as well. Had to get a little bit of a pedicure for that toe that kind of got knocked out. So, but should have most of the damage fixed there.
Mall clear for the lead. Looked like Scott Patton lost the nose a bit in turn 1, but he is using the momentum he got from the high side to fire right back at Mall on the outside here again into 1. And Christian Angel now up to 3rd. Angel plugging away here. Behind them, they are in quite the formation. They're in a diamond. And I didn't hear anybody call a re-rack either.
All still not able to clear Patton. Those two not doing each other any favors. Meanwhile, Christian Angel kind of waiting in the wings here, looking for the opening and the opportunity.
They're doing everybody behind him a favor, that's for sure. Everybody is still in touch with the leaders. Angel washes up a bit, might open the door for Schulte to sneak underneath, and it will. Angel's been very good on the bottom of the track. Haven't really seen him have to make moves here from the middle and the top side. Meanwhile, Patton is pinching Greg Mall here. It's not enough. Here's Angel now fighting back on the bottom for third.
See Justin Michael a little bit farther back there, picking up some positions. Now moves up to sixth.
First three rows side by side. Now
Whoa.
Angel's clear. Scott Patton is clear.
We were 4 wide farther back there, entry into turn 1 as well. I think it was Smith, Kirk, Gibson. It was either Widener or Milfelt. I couldn't tell which.
Here's a big run for Justin Michael. He's underneath Christian Angel now and trying to take fourth away. Angel had to get on the binders there. He'll lose the spot, but cross him over.
Yeah, Michael tries to slide up in front and does, but Angel gonna try and fight back. That was close.
That was close. Schulte to second. Michael's gonna run on Maul here as well to try and get back onto the podium.
Justin Michael is on a damn mission right now.
We talked about Nate Siefker going full red mist last night. I think the blade is hungering right now for Justin Michael. Oh, spin in the back. Jacob Gibson's around. Gibson had some help there. That was Heath Smith. I think that was underneath him. You didn't see how it happened, but the results are disastrous here for the 19.
Yeah, and that was right around the group that was 4 wide at one point into turn 1, and I just think they were fighting each other pretty hard for those few positions.
So that's caution number 2 here, working lap number 42. That'll give us a breather. We may need it.
Here's a look at the replay. You see Gibson up above Smith. Smith up the racetrack just a tad. Wow, we must not have a great server here tonight. Looked like
well, Heath Smith has, yeah, Heath Smith's been blinking quite a bit here tonight. So that would probably be the factor in that one.
Here's another look again from right behind the 2 trucks. Certainly close, but definitely a lot of space in between them as well.
I mean, there's a good couple feet between them there. Yeah, that wasn't particularly great.
Well, that's going to bring everybody down pit road here.
Everybody except for Rob Haynes. He's the only one not to come down pit road here. And also James Lehman, who's taken the lucky dog.
Might be a good time to remind everybody they do have 4 extra sets of tires here, so this is only the second set they're now putting on. So plenty of rubber left at the disposal of the drivers here.
James Lehman actually went 2 laps down, so he is back to 1 lap down now, but next caution, should be having another one at least, will take care of him. So we got about, 10, 11 laps in on that run. I mean, 11-lap tire differential doesn't sound like a big deal. But, I mean, we got 30 laps in there at the end of that first run, and people were slip-sliding all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to definitely be a big deal for sure. I mean, Haynes may be able to hang on for 2, 3, 4 laps, but, I mean, pretty soon he's going to really start to feel the effect of those tires.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how this one shakes out and who is going to carry the momentum into the track where momentum may matter the very least, and that is Talladega. That is where we stumble into next week with the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. I mean, if you don't remember the finish from 2023 with Wally Terheimer being sideways across the line and taking it in a photo finish, you either weren't here or you just don't remember the important things like that. That's that was a race that was very near and dear to our hearts here at Turn 200, even still, some 5 or 6 months removed from it. What a fantastic event, and looking forward very much to getting back out there with this same cast of characters and a few new characters as well, and see who has what it takes to tame Talladega.
Yeah, I think we're expecting a big number at Talladega next week. As far as driver count, we've had quite a few drivers join the series this season. Not all of them reflected here tonight, but if any track is going to bring them out, it's going to be the biggest and the fastest.
I mean, this is pretty close to the lowest car count we've had all season, and man, if you could get 25 every night, you're eating good. I'll just tell you that much right now. No complaints from the admin team here, that's for sure. But yeah, you're right. Should be a big number next week at Talladega, and that's only going to make things more interesting. Anybody that rolls into the joint can win that one. And there are quite a few drivers that would like a win here with this extended season with a playoff format. A lot of drivers going to be licking their chops to get a victory here next week at Talladega. Between now and then, we'll have the Mission R Challenge Sunday Top Split Strength of Field broadcast on Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time from the boot layout of Watkins Glen. We'll be back in action with the ASRL Sports Car Championship from Arena Oschersleben on Wednesday night at about 7:15 p.m. Eastern, or rather 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And then, yeah, Talladega next week here for Max V. So an exciting week coming up for you here on Turn 200. Hope to see you here every single night that we got something going on. And oh, by the way, we just dropped our Turn 10 for the month of March. A couple of Max V appearances in there as well. That's up on the channel right now. It's still fresh and hot for you.
That fresh donut sign, the light is on, huh?
Yes, it is. They're not half price yet. We'll see what Rob Haynes has got here with 11-lap old tires while everybody else has got good tires. Big stack up here on the outside. That was Zachary Groover. Started in the wrong gear. We're not done. Burkhart's around. Into Kyle Manos. The caution is out. We're still fanning out all over the track here.
Yeah, Michael Van also up into the wall as well. We've seen a couple of problems on restarts here tonight. I mean, the first one didn't bring out any caution or anything, but this one was a different story.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened the first time with Justin Michael, but that definitely looked like a case of starting in the wrong gear for Zachary Groover.
We're gonna try and take a look at the replay here. We're gonna back it up just a bit. You see Groover in the 40 there, starting behind Andrew Schulte. And you are correct. Groover just was definitely in third or fourth gear. Does not get going. Stacks up the entire line. See back here, Watson to Heath Smith, and then Burkhart pretty darn hard into Watts. Checks himself up. Paradise gets into Burkhart. That's what pushes him down into the 11. And then Michael Van, he's going to end up getting turned by Michael Milfelt because they got stacked up as well. The 11 was Kyle Manos, by the way. So that's just a bad scenario there.
A lot of drivers with damage down pit road here. Matt Burkhart, I think, has pit out of order. He's picked up a black flag. Bill Paradise, Kerry Cleaver, Mike Milfelt, Michael Van as well down pit road to get some damage repaired. But that is a bullet dodged, if only a .22 caliber for Rob Haynes. I don't think we quite got enough running in there to call that a heat cycle. Be awfully close, though.
Well, what it's done, I mean, we keep extending these caution laps, and it just makes this run shorter and shorter. Still not going to be able to make it on fuel, so we'll have to come down pit road. But if you're thinking that we might go green, if we run 20 laps and things kind of get a little bit spread out, I think we're going to run green. I mean, we could see folks starting to come down pit road in 25 laps or so for the undercut. I mean, this is going to be basically 2 sprints to the finish pretty much.
Nothing wrong with 2 sprints to the finish. In fact, I think I'm looking forward to that.
I'll tell you who it did help out. It helped out Rob Haynes a little bit because he is not going to have to run as many laps under green conditions now as before. Going to help himself out a little bit.
And it does also minimize the tire advantage that everybody else has on him, if only by a little bit. But I mean, another caution or 2 and that advantage is pretty well chipped away, and he could stay up front for a little bit longer. Trying to think, this may only be our 3rd time here on the channel ever. We had the Venom Truck Series win here with Steve Roman, and I believe Gavin Sanders won a Truck 200 race here. I think that's it.
Yeah, certainly, and it's been a while since we've been here as well. So, I think those 2 races were pretty close together. It's been a good,
it's
been a good while.
It's probably been about 8 months. Yeah, those 2 races were pretty close together. A bumping under caution from Justin Michael, making sure that Andrew Schultz is still with us. He's not asleep.
You know, something that happens as a driver, you're so amped up and focused when you're running those green flag laps. But when you get a bunch of caution laps in a row, it kind of, you get lulled into a little bit of a sense, I don't want to say sense of security, but you just kind of let your guard down a little bit. And I think it's hard as a driver to flip that switch back on, when we get back to green.
Rob Haynes and Andrew Schultz on the front row. Scott Patton and Justin Michael on row 2. How about Zachary Groover still up here in the top 5? Brad Slagle, who we've not called out all night tonight, he's looking good here in the top 10. Greg Mall, Johnny Hamby, and Will Kirk and Charlie Widener will be restarting inside the top 10. Coming to lap number 52 of 105. Second gear, starting hopefully for everybody. Back underway. Much cleaner up front this time. Gap does open up from 4th on back, but Rob Haynes a commanding restart. Boy, 3 wide. Slagle trapped up top. Groover now stuck up top there as well. How about 3 wide, 2 deep?
I didn't know we were doing Talladega early today.
A little practice never hurts. Oh, boy.
Whoa!
Pinball. Driver in the grass.
Christian Angel. Oh, we're 3 wide for the lead as well down into turn 1.
There's Schultz on the bottom. Michael in the middle and Haynes up top. Schultz to the point. Still 3 wide here for second.
Whoa.
After the run.
And we're starting to see the effect of those tires for the 199 of Rob Haynes. Starting to slip back pretty steadily right here.
Lost a ton of momentum. That certainly doesn't help either. Greg Mall, purple lap of the session here in 4th. As we're back to business as usual for the top 3.
Wow, look at Charlie Widener looking for a big move down all the way to the bottom underneath the Will Kirk. 3 wide into turn 3.
Kirk has to move up the track a bit. It's going to put Johnny Hamby in a precarious spot. Hamby loses out. Here goes Patton for the lead. Patton takes it with ease. Schulte going to fight back. He's got a big run here. He's going to take it straight to the bottom. Michael to help. And Schultz is clear. And Michael's clear too.
Justin Michael has just about perfected that move. He's done that a couple of times where he took himself from 3rd, helped the truck on the bottom to get himself a position, but then put himself in the position to make a move for the lead in the next corners as well.
Michael backed up his entry into 1. I think was looking for a big run here down the backstretch. Didn't quite get it. It just puts him right on the front bumper. Here are the 46 of Scott Patton. Greg Mall, Charlie Widener, and Will Kirk have arrived. The top 6 are all here together. Patton underneath for 2nd. Can he get a big enough run to challenge for the lead here as well? Schulte might leave the room. Patton pulls right up, but watch this run here for Schulte. Oh no, Schulte got loose. We're even down the backstretch.
Oh! Contact between Patton and Schulte there on the straightaway.
Here's Mall underneath for 3rd, now for 2nd. Mall biding his time. We are bump drafting Talladega style here. These are all 4 teammates. Now Will Kirk breaks up the party, and Michael is trapped up top.
Yeah, Charlie Widener gonna try and join that train and getting around the 87 as well.
Michael trying to push Will Kirk there across 2 lanes. Patton leading Mall, Schulte, Kirk, Michael, Widener, and Hamby. Half a second back to Christian Angel. Another pit stop to go, but I'd love it if it just finished just like this. Nobody has looked like the dominant driver tonight. Everybody's had a crack at it.
Certainly not. I mean, the pit stop is going to be absolutely critical here. You have to have good pit entry. Otherwise, you're as good as done here in this race unless you get a caution to come out. And for the undercut, we are a mere 15 laps away from expecting maybe some undercuts to happen.
Here's Kirk looking for 3rd. Kirk on the podium last week in Martinsville. It's his first post-revival podium of his career, despite all the good runs he's had. And he is clear on Schulte.
Justin Michael continues to go backwards, put a tire on the white paint down at the bottom of the racetrack a couple of turns ago, and Charlie Widener has cleared him now.
Multiple lanes here on exit. Mall looking for the space underneath, but Patton fills the hole. You really have to set up your move in 3 and 4 on the entry of turn 1. Oh, that's a bump! We've been debating netcode. That wasn't netcode. That was the real McCoy.
Kirk all over the back of Greg Mall there and broke him a little bit loose. They didn't lose. Oh!
Oh, boy! And here's Schulte. And he'll put Will Kirk rather back to 4th, and now Justin Michael will put him on the bubble of the top 5.
And for the 9, this is a bad feeling. This is such a momentum-heavy racetrack, especially early on in the runs here, and Kirk lost the momentum and lost the positions to go with it.
Michael trying to root Schulte out of the way. As Greg Mall is recovered now. Back within a truck length, but now has Michael to contend with.
Will Kirk right back at it underneath of Schulte.
Unfazed. First call out tonight for Matt Montalbalt. He's in P8, and the top 8 are all still nose to tail here. Angel and Milfeld battling hard behind them as Schulte again going underneath of Kirk. Oh, Mall is loose! Boy, he almost wrecked that.
Looked like Scott Patton a little bit loose there as well.
Handling becoming an issue here. Schulte. Now he finds himself in the middle of 3 wide regardless. More contact there with Kirk. I wonder if Schulte's thinking, am I running the Taco Bell's team tonight or do I have the Target truck on? He is getting banged around.
Kirk just about went for a ride, got loose there in the middle of turns 3 and 4 and was able to corral it, but without the quick reflexes, he could have gone straight around in front of a big group there.
Wally Terheimer up to P14. I think everybody from a 12th on back has lost touch with this lead pack. Still plenty of racing going on all throughout the pack. Mall with a slip up. Here's Schulte for 3rd.
Shout out to Martha Terheimer cheering on Wally in the chat, by the way, as Schulte easily able to clear Mall.
And now it's the reverse of what we saw throughout the first stage. Although Justin Michael doesn't want to be the one to ride around behind Scott Patton. He dives, looking to take back the lead. And we'll do it.
Yeah, not quite clear yet. Patton still trying to fight on the outside.
Patton with a run. He'll swing it to the bottom. And as these two continue to battle side by side, Schulte and Mall not too far behind. Leaders swap again.
And behind all of that, Will Kirk, Charlie Widener side by side, along with Montalbalt and Johnny Hamby. They're 2 by 2 there. I think after this next time around, we will be in the undercut zones should somebody want it. And Rob Haynes is down pit road, of course, has the tire deficit to work with.
So he should be right on the money to make it from here. Hoping that caution stays put away for a while. May not get his win, though. We're running awfully tight here inside the top 10.
Yeah, you have to wonder if that is looming in the back of the minds of the drivers, not wanting to come down pit road and maybe run this thing almost all the way out, just in case that caution flies. They don't want to get trapped a lap down.
Michael was searching for room underneath Scott Patton. Patton ran him all the way down into the grass. And that has opened that lead back up to about 3 or 4 truck lengths, which isn't that much, but it's maybe enough.
Jacob Gibson down pit road this last time around.
Gibson with the damage from a couple of cautions ago.
Whoa, Schulte nearly got up into the wall there out of 4.
This truck can't decide if it wants to be loose or tight. Everybody has both.
Charlie Widener able to get the big run off the top side out of turn 2, gets around Hamby, and now Hamby has Angel underneath in the 6.
Angel hanging tough here, trying to take 7th, and does it. Michael with a run on Patton. He's going to look to the bottom once again. Backs it up into one, looking for a big drive off here on the bottom, but Patton's got him covered off for now. Oh, Christian Angel loose! Boy, I don't know how he saved that. No contact from behind. Maybe just a bit arrow loose there with Hamby right in.
See some drivers starting to search up to the tippity top of turn 1 on entry. Wow.
Wow.
Big move down for Johnny Hamby.
That was a wild crossover there. He was barely clear on the 6.
Oh, and now drifting up the racetrack a bit.
Yawned the back of that truck out. That's Montalban to his outside. And he'll take the spot. Here's Michael again underneath of Patton for the race lead. Zachary Groover and Brad Slagle are down pit road now as well. James Lehman is back on the lead lap. He'll be pitting in this time.
Yeah, that window is definitely open now. 30 laps to go. Who's going to be
Michael.
the first in the top 10 to go for it?
Michael fighting tooth and nail. Wally Turheimer also down pit road. James Lehman has picked up a speeding penalty.
Michael not quite able to clear, but should down here in turn 1.
Will Kirk and Michael Milfelt down pit road. Jack Watts as well.
There you go. There's some drivers in the back half of the top 10 there.
Bill Kirk took a bit of a slide there through the top 10. But him triggering the undercut here might have me a bit worried.
Here comes Johnny Hamby. As we are still side by side for this lead between the 87 and the 46.
Yeah, it is not let up here the last 4 or 5 laps.
Just when it looks like Michael's going to be able to clear, Scott Patton is able to fight back on the outside. Whoa! Patton slides in underneath and nearly made contact.
And all that side-by-side battling really did not draw in Andrew Schulte. Still hanging about a second behind.
Here comes Kerry Cleaver down pit road as well.
Chris Voiles also down pit road. Scott Patton coming. Oh, Andrew Schulte locks it up. Schulte, he's going to be speeding for sure, and he spins it to boot.
Oh, right in front of Greg Mull as well. Mull had to make an evasive maneuver.
Oh, man, that is... Well, no speeding penalty for Schulte, but, I mean, he's out of contention for the win here without another caution.
I don't know how he wasn't speeding right there. He was...
No.
He was sliding hot and heavy there, and here comes Justin Michael.
Michael from the lead. Heath Smith will motor on by. He'll pick up the race lead. And he is really the only one staying out here outside of Bill Paradise, I believe.
And here comes Scott Patton down on the apron through turns 1 and 2. Where is he going to cycle out?
He is behind Rob Haynes, that's for sure. And there go Will Kirk and Michael Milfelt by as well.
Haynes is on much older tires at this point. Came down, I believe, on lap 70.
Another 10-lap gap, just like it was in the stage break. But I'm showing about a 4-second gap from Haynes back to Kirk. should be pretty easy to overcome, but it's going to take some time.
And Patton cycled out in front of Justin Michael.
But not by much. Michael
No.
right there.
Not by much is right. Those two going to have about a 3 or 4 lap tire advantage on Kirk and Milfelt here.
Kirk lapping about 0.3 faster than Haynes. Haynes has just taken over the lead as Bill Paradise came down pit road. And here goes Scott Patton underneath Mike Milfelt. I see James Lehman just hopped in the waiting room, and he's in the chat saying his race is over. So why don't we talk to James Lehman here and bring him up for the rest of this event. Working lap 83 now. Sorry your night is over a bit sooner, but happy to have you up here in the booth.
Yeah, I need to work on my entrance to pit roads. This is, 2 nights in a row I've been caught speeding. I'm having a rough time with pit road lately.
Well, you weren't alone here tonight. Andrew Schulte there with the problem. He has dropped back to 8th after his pit stop. We're watching battling here for 2nd and 3rd. That takes the spot. And yeah, Michael trying to work over Mike here.
Tried to find his way 3 wide there for a second.
There he goes.
And this gap is closing up to the leader, Rob Haynes. On an alternate strategy, gap's down to 2.7 seconds. And on a bull named Fu Manchu. It's Texas. We'll go for it.
Yeah, they're definitely going to run down Rob pretty quick. If he had a teammate or something, another person to run with, I think he'd probably keep the lead a little bit better. But since he's out, a fish in a fishbowl, he's kind of stuck.
This truck looks loose. This truck looks tight. It looks anything but steady out here.
That is very true. Tonight's very rough. It's just loose. It's tight at the beginning, and it just gets loose about after 10 laps, and then you're riding on the right rear a lot.
Here's Michael with a pass to take 2nd away from Patton. Gap is now down to 1.7 seconds, just like that.
It's crazy.
0.8 quicker than the leader right now.
It was imperative for Michael to be able to get through on Kirk and Milfelt quickly, and then did not waste any time to get around Scott Patton.
Yeah,
Patton has been content to just tuck in right behind Michael here. And it's pretty impressive that he can mirror drive that close and that long. Lap 88, we're inside of a second now, up to Rob Haynes, who I can't imagine is going to put up much of a fight here.
I think he might throw a block or two.
I mean, been a lot of blocks thrown here tonight. A lot of haymakers being doled out.
For sure. You know, for a truck that's not handling too well, it sure does put on some good racing.
Oh, for sure. Michael is on the scene. This will be for the race lead. Patton, Milfelt, Kirk here as well. Greg Ball is 2.25 seconds behind this battle.
Nope.
Michael slips underneath. And Patton going to take advantage here. Lap traffic ahead to 28 of Chris Voiles. The leaders are side by side still.
Picking up right where they left off before the pit cycle.
No kidding. Oh, that was an awkward bumper placement there for Michael. Keeps the door open underneath.
Milfelt and Kirk finally got around Rob Haynes. Haynes put up a much better fight with those two, but ultimately is dropped back to 5th.
Voyle sticking to the top side here. Things have settled down for now, but how long will that last? My guess is not that long. And we mentioned a couple of times the Andrew Schulte spin onto pit road, and really the other big loser from that, like you mentioned in real time, was Greg Mall. Who had to check up pretty hard not to pile into the 81, and that has cost him the lead draft.
Yeah, now he's got Johnny knocking at his back door.
Mall will make a move here pretty shortly to get around Rob Haynes for 5th, but outside of that, his options for forward mobility are pretty limited without a caution. Coming to put lap 94 on the board. We've seen quite the revolving door of characters up front here tonight, but these have been the two mainstays. Scott Patton, Justin Michael. They swapped the lead amongst themselves multiple times, and it looks like it might be getting ready to happen again. More lap traffic ahead, the 11 of Kyle Manos. Manos going to stick to the bottom here. And Mall and Hamby have caught and disposed of Rob Haynes, so move Haynes back to 7th now. We'll have another second and a half or so to fall into the clutches of Andrew Schulte.
Yeah, 10 laps to go here. Haynes in jeopardy of falling out of the top 10 possibly.
I respect the play. He's already got a win in the bag. Why not go for it? Unfortunately, he was hanging around the top 5 for most of the night before that play. And here we go again. Michael. Oh, and chopped the nose there. Scott Patton again. I mean, you spend these races with Justin Michael in the race room. This season has not quite gone his way, to say the least. I mean, what's he going to do for a win here tonight? What's he going to do, even with Scott Patton in front of him?
I think he might make him a little bit air loose, and if that doesn't work, I think he's going to give him a little bit of bump, or he's going to shoot it to the inside and hope it sticks.
Well, he's shot it to the inside here.
Yeah, exactly. Even keel here into 3. More lap traffic, limit ahead.
Patton has been really strong on the outside, been able to keep at least even with Michael, even when he gets underneath of him. Can he do it again? The answer is no.
We've thought we were going to get this battle multiple times here this season down the stretch. It hasn't happened yet due to other circumstances. And this is it. We're eating good here tonight, fellas. Michael and Patton duking it out for the win.
Big bump from Patton up to the 87.
Will Kirk, Mike Milfeld battling side by side for 3rd.
Greg Mall in the fight here as well.
Yes. I am surprised Mall has tracked these two down. But Mall looking to be on for a podium with a little bit fresher tires.
Ooh, Mall
making
contact with a 155 in the corner. That's dangerous.
Well, Milfeld wiggled back to him a little bit there. That didn't help.
Maybe Michael will repay the favor.
Kirk has come
Now, I
out on
know-
top thus far.
I know Kurt's not going to give it easy, that's for sure.
Certainly not. Got his first podium last week. Looking for another one tonight. All with the fresher tires. Laps are winding down. Lap traffic staying out of the way of the top two, who are still nose to tail. Battling for first, battling for third. Also
Gotta
battling for
battle
10th
And 7th.
and 7th. Oh, Patton is loose, mega loose. I don't know how he saved that. That had yellow flag written all over it here with just a couple laps to go. I know that's what Michael wanted to see, but is that enough of a gap here? Probably not.
Yeah, if Patton can get to him, it might give Patton the opportunity to get a huge run off of one of these corners,
Yeah.
but still looks unsteady.
That right rear is looking hot and bothered. 2 to go. More lap traffic ahead. Michael in this position for the first time this season, other than the season opener at Daytona. Just need to make it back to the stripe. That's step one. White flag, this is it. Micah with a lead. Patton is closing. Inch by inch.
Battle for third is heating up.
We'll have a battle for the podium here. Michael maintaining the gap back to Scott Patton. Clean trip through 3 and 4 is all it's going to take. All the hardship is behind us. Justin Michael is on the board here in 2024. And for third, Will Kirk is going to hang on 2 in a row.
Good job.
Yeah, Kirk able to fend off Greg Mall, even on older tires. A great run for Will Kirk here.
That's 2 podiums in a row for Will Kirk. That's fantastic stuff. But boy, I'll tell you this much. I did not want to talk to Justin Michael if he finished second tonight.
But luckily for you, you're not going to have to.
I think Rob Haynes ran out of gas on the final lap and is getting pushed back around. And that's race over. Justin Michael.
Justin Michael wins a lot of races, but this one, I have a feeling, is going to feel pretty sweet.
Well, it's been a hot minute. Truly and honestly, it's been a hot minute since we've had Justin Michael in victory lane. Which is surprising.
He hasn't had the luck these first 9 races, that's for sure.
No. This is post-revival victory number 4 here for Justin Michael. It's his first of the season. He's in the top 10 in points. But that's about the only positive to come out of his season up until this moment right here. And he has burned it to the ground here tonight, and deservedly so. We'll talk to your race winner, Justin Michael, momentarily, as we will with Scott Patton and Will Kirk. Greg Mall will finish in 4th, Mike Milfeld in 5th. I'm sure a disappointing P6 for Andrew Schulte tonight, but all things considered, that's a pretty good result. Johnny Hamby in 7th, Christian Angel in 8th, Charlie Widener and Heath Smith then in 10th, Matthew Montebalt will finish in P11, Jack Watson 12th, Wally Turheimer will finish in P13, Kerry Cleaver in 14th, and Lehman's Mega Money Mania tonight is going to go to Rob Haynes in P15. We'll pull up Rob here for a quick interview in just a second. Zach Groover in 16th, Brad Slagle in 17th, Chris Voiles in 18th, Bill Paradise and Michael Van will finish in 20th, 21st for Matt Burkhart, and then DNFs for Kyle Manos, James Lehman, Jacob Gibson, and Gary Maydew as well. So we'll go and search real quick. He's still hanging around. I don't see him
I
though.
think Rob dipped out.
That's too bad. I wanted to talk to him, but regardless, congrats to him for winning Layman's Money Layman's Mega Money Mania. There we go. We'll pull in your third place finisher then instead, and it's back-to-back podiums here for Will Kirk here. Congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it.
I mean, what a race for you. Hanging just inside the top 10, all of a sudden find yourself battling for the lead. Seemed like you were on the back foot there for a while, but some excellent defense down the stretch to bring this one home.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I finally figured out how to enter one about halfway through the race. So that was the big game changer. But yeah, but the whole race before that and a bunch of my hosted races I did this week, I just couldn't. I mean, I would lose 2/10 every time through there. So once we got that figured out, it was a lot more manageable.
Matt, what do you got?
Yeah, congrats on the second podium in a row. Got some momentum heading into Talladega, where anybody can win that thing. How you feeling?
Really good. I love plate tracks, so I'm pretty excited. Yeah, like you said, momentum. So that's going to be huge.
James, you want to hop in here?
No, I'm gonna let you guys do your job.
Good. All right, that's cool. Where was it, Will? Was it Atlanta where you and I got to do a little on-track time together a few months ago? I think it was Atlanta.
It was Daytona, yeah.
Oh, it's Daytona. Okay. Well, we know you can hold your own in those plate tracks regardless, so we're pretty excited to see if you can make it 3 in a row in next week. But in the meantime, let's get some shout-outs going for you.
Cool, yes. My mom, again, she always watches. My Aunt Marilyn. You guys are putting this on James. I mean, I hate him, but James is kind of all right, I guess. Thanks, Sam, for putting all this on him. It's a lot of hard work, and it costs money, so people don't realize how much work it really is. So massive shout-out to all you guys for making all this happen, and all the drivers who, race clean on a weekly basis.
All right, partner, go celebrate another podium. We'll hopefully talk to you again 2 spots better in Talladega next week.
Hopefully. Thanks, buddy. Deuces.
It is a hard-fought P2 here tonight for Scott Patton. Boy, are you sweating after that one?
We are, for sure. That was a blast there. Racing with Justin's always a good time like that.
This truck looked tight. It looked loose. Boy, it looked wicked loose there at the end of the race.
Yeah, that about sums it up. A little bit tight and about 2/3 loose. So, yeah, it was tight on entry at times, especially into 1 there. A lot of throttle control, but then you got to be careful getting back on it to get that straight shot off of 2 without getting loose. And then you're at full throttle in 3 and 4, and it got away with us. I think, I don't know what the number was, lap 3 or 4 to go. Justin, I was looking at his left quarter panel, the whole corner there as he's slipping through the entire corner, and I ended up doing the exact same thing on the exact same lap. And I think that could have been the spot to make a move, but I was, I guess, concentrating too much on what he was doing out there, and I did the exact same thing. So, yeah, it was slick for sure in 3 and 4 over there.
I mean, there were points tonight where it looks like a preview of Talladega next week. Matt mentioned it multiple times. I mean, you were riding behind Justin Michael there, like 5 feet behind him for the better part of 20 laps there to open that race up. I mean, that's with the ill-handling truck, that's just an interesting experience, I'm sure.
5 feet? I don't think it was that much, was it?
Probably not. No, you're right. Probably less than that.
Yeah, it's always fun trading the paint there with Justin. It's always fun with teammates that you can trust like that. We're giving each other a hard time. Knowing, again, like I've said in the past, which this race proves exactly that, racing people like Justin, you make one small mistake and he's going to pounce and he's not going to look back. So all the more reason that when you have the lead and fighting like that, I got to fight for every inch that I can get my hands on. So that was part of the pit strategy, maybe coming in, try to sneak in there to catch him off guard. Obviously it worked for a lap, and that's how we kind of took the lead back after that pit cycle. That was a pure strategy move there. And then knowing that I just had to kind of keep on it and going and without making a mistake and without giving him a chance to take it back. So I know he was getting irritated at me chopping him off on the front straightaway several times, but he warned me. He's like, one of these times I'm not going to lift. I was like, I know, I see it coming, but it's kind of checkers or records type of night. So good to come home with a podium, I guess, despite that.
Matt, what do you got?
Yeah, congrats on the P2, obviously. Well-deserved and hard-fought. After the pit stops right there towards the very end, Michael got around 3rd and 4th and then made a beeline for the race lead as well. Did he kind of take you by surprise a little bit with that move? Because he kind of made up all of those positions all within a lap or two there. It all happened so quickly.
It did. This is exactly how you described it. I remember being aggressive passing those guys. I think it was Milfelt and what's his name there? Because of W,
Kurt.
right?
Yeah, well, Kurt.
Yeah. And I was aggressive passing them because I knew, again, I can't wait up for him because Justin's going to get me. And I was like, phew, I got some breathing room. I got 3 or 4 tenths, I think. And I was kind of watching the relative to see if Justin would have a hard time with them. And then off turn 2, he came with a full head of steam, got a great run. And my whole plan kind of went for nothing. So, yeah, that got me scared for sure, thinking that maybe that 1 lap fresher tires is going to play a factor. And maybe it ultimately did. But he's great at managing that whole run. So, yeah, it had me worried for sure.
Well, congrats to you on another podium here tonight. Anybody you want to shout out or say hi to?
Yeah, this is kind of a special week. You guys probably see the paint job is slightly different. We got the yellow 46 on top, got the yellow spoiler, and more importantly, we got a small logo in the left rear and right rear quarter panels back there. It's Marathon Monday coming up here in Boston. Any runners out there, athletes? And a real special friend of mine, couple, Jacob and Carrie, real good friends of mine. They lost their daughter about a year ago. Basically right at birth, and to pay benefit to her and tribute to her in remembrance, he's running the Boston Marathon and qualified with Boston's Children's Hospital, raised a whole bunch of money to help future families so that they don't have to go through the same suffering. So we are certainly remembering their daughter Cece this week, certainly on Marathon Monday when he runs, and we got her on the door panel there driving the truck, so she drove us to a solid podium tonight. So.
Well, that's awesome. Congrats on another podium here, and we'll talk to you again hopefully next week at Talladega.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for the broadcast. Appreciate all your hard work.
And here we go. The long-awaited return to victory lane here for Justin Michael. He's back on the top step where he rightfully deserves to be, especially after a performance like tonight. Welcome back to Boot 200. Congrats on the win.
I appreciate it, guys. It's been a while, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's been a while, and it's been a bit of a tumultuous season, but we'll save that for later. To kick things off here tonight, boy, I mean, they couldn't shake you. A couple of nervous moments there as you lost a few spots, tumbled just inside or just outside of the top 5, but every time you came roaring back with a bigger and bigger head of steam.
Oh yeah, we were just making them wear their tires and their stuff out, so that way we could get past them, and then once we got past, we could pull away. That before that last pit stop, once I finally got past Scott, I think I was pulling him 2 tenths a lap, and then he decided to pit. I think he knew that what was happening.
I mean, this track is weird. There's no doubt about it. Multiple lines there in turns 1 and 2. They kind of worked better than I was expecting them to. But the other thing that came into play, especially once everybody got grouped together after the green flag pit stop, some people were able to get some pretty big runs, picked up 2 or maybe even 3 spots at a time, even when things were a bit more spaced out. I mean, you were one of the drivers that took advantage pretty well of getting big runs.
Yeah, you just had to play the draft right, and I hate it that you had to. I like this track when you actually have to drive it, but this ran like I think it was Vegas was wide open, so it runs kind of like that. But yeah, you just got to know how to play the draft, and like I said, make them wear out their stuff, and you take care of your stuff, and it's you're golden at that point to get past them.
Matt, what do you got?
Well, congrats on the race win. Good to have you back. And, I mean, this race really didn't develop like your typical Justin Michael win. I mean, we obviously have the stage breaks now and then some kind of quicker cautions coming out right after that. I mean, really, most of the runs we had were kind of like sprint runs here tonight, yet you were still able to hold off the rest of the field. How was it from your point of view?
Yeah, I agree. I usually don't do good on sprint runs. I usually do the long fuel runs is where I always, come out on top. But seemed like it was a little different here tonight. And I mean, this track was just loose, especially off the turns. And going in, it was tight. But I'm sure James was telling you during the broadcast. But it was bad. And hopefully we don't have to race like this again for a long time.
Well, we've got Talladega next week, and that's always its own animal. But I mean, I tell you what. Things seemed like things went bad right coming to the checkers at Daytona when you got wrecked out of the wind there. Just barely lost out in Atlanta, and boy, things have just been difficult this season. It's been it's been a rough one. But even though you're still top 10 in the points, it's just not what we've come to expect. So tonight's performance feels pretty good for us. I would imagine it feels pretty good for you as well.
Oh, it definitely does. So hopefully this will turn it around this year. We'll get back up there in the top 5 and maybe even to the lead at some point. But I know as long as we're in the top 16, I think it is, we'll be fine. But we'd rather be up front, though. So maybe we'll get a couple more wins here in the next couple weeks. And we always run really good at the speedway tracks. It just, like you said, some bad luck at Daytona. So Talladega is really good to us. So hopefully we'll get a good finish as long as we get some good green flag runs.
Well, that's the other thing working in your favor. This time last season, we would have been at the halfway point headed into Talladega. We still got plenty of time, and things are headed in the right direction for sure. So we'll give you time to celebrate here, but in the meantime, anybody you want to shout out or say hi to?
Yeah, just you guys for calling a good race as always. We always go back and watch them. James for putting on the league. Just everybody out there, we appreciate you all watching, and Scott out there for painting this great truck for Patented Paint. So we appreciate him, and all the guys at Bandit Motorsports. Even though we're technically split up into 3 different teams, we're still a team, and we appreciate those guys. So we'll see you guys next week, and hopefully we'll get a good run.
All right, partner, go party hard. We'll talk to you again next week.
Thanks, guys.
That was your race winner, Justin Michael. 4th career victory here with the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series, first of the season, and all is right again in Max V land with Justin Michael on the top step here tonight. Boy, I tell you what, we've seen some lockdown racing before at the 1.5 miles, but this one was a little bit different. This one had a lot of elements and layers to it, and made it a pretty good night, all things considered.
Yeah, lots of interesting things happening early on. You had a lot of drafting going on. Big packs kind of stuck together. Really created some really good moments here throughout the night. A lot of beating and banging as well. Not necessarily a whole lot of cautions, but just some door-to-door action for sure. So, really good stuff from the drivers. And then, of course, had some drivers kind of run away with it here towards the end, but Justin Michael, Scott Patton, putting on that show as they always do. So shout out to all of the drivers here and to everybody that was here with us tonight. Thank you to the people that chat with us every week. Marilyn Beck, Michelle Kirk, James Lehman was in the chat, unfortunately. Martha Turheimer, Shelley Mall, AP Lewis, D. Nicole, and I think that was it. Oh, Greg Mall was in here before the race started. So shout out to everybody that was in here with the chat with us. Appreciate it. Anybody else that was watching. We will see you guys on down the road.
Absolutely. Thanks to James Lehman as well for hopping in the booth here for a bit. He has stepped out, unfortunately, but thank you to him for hanging out with us in booth 200 here. Yes, we'll see you again here in just a couple of days. The Sunday Top Split Strength of Field broadcast for the Mission R Challenge will roll into the boot, the classic boot layout of Watkins Glen. No bus stop. Found that out the hard way here today when I tried to turn in with no practice in the middle of the race. Didn't go well. But regardless, classic boot layout for Watkins Glen for the Mission Art Challenge, Sunday, 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. We're back here on Wednesday with the ASRL Sports Car Championship, 8 o'clock or 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time from Arena Oschersleben. And then we'll be back here for the long-awaited return to the Super Speedway, that is Talladega Super Speedway, for the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time next Thursday night. Super Speedway racing here with Max V. Yes, that is all we got for you here. Thank you to everybody that was hanging out with us here tonight. Please hit subscribe on your way out of the stream. Every little bit helps us in our quest to get to 1,000. We got some good stuff coming up here for you as well. Everybody, I know, is pretty excited about the stream schedule that we got laid out ahead of us. Might just get a little bit more full, too. You never know. But that's more news for on down the road. That is all we got for you here tonight. Thank you to everybody with the Max V community. Thank you to CNC Home Designs. Shout out to Kerry Cleaver for sponsoring the Max V group here. And that's all we got for you here tonight. For everybody with Max V, for the GOAT, the one and only Mr. Matt Williamson, I'm Tommy Cook. Until we meet again, we say so long from Texas Motor Speedway, where Justin Michael reigns supreme once more. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.